Alright, I'm basically had to like work myself to the bone, not just because of work, but just also because of McFrickin', give me a sec. Lay down. Alright. Basically, I'm so exhausted now, so I'm basically gonna have to not power through this because this next episode is actually pretty good, and I think we could use a little bit of relaxation with this next one. So, let's do it. She's all yak. So this episode begins with basically Twilight putting up a flyer and most of the young six being excited as she explains what exactly this whole thing is about.
What? It's a pony dance party. They're the best.
I'm ready. You don't need to do that, Ocellus. This year the event's at school and open to every creature. We're calling our dance the Amity Ball.
Well, I think that this season came out the same year as the Owl House, but was it before or after the show ended? Because I kind of feel like it was before. Just saying, the Amity Ball seemed like very enjoyable. But yeah, basically Padlock Luck, Amity Ball, whatever you want to call it, is basically Equestria's version of prom. And naturally, Yona seems to be enthralled by it.
Traditional dance, oh, like this. Ball dance like that?
Not exactly. It isn't just one dance. It's a whole night of them. Plus, an awesome party.
And we'll have all the old Fetlock Fet traditions. The Pony Pal contest, the Lucky Pot dinner, you'll love it. So like this says, get your Pony Pal and come along.
Well, unless you're like me, who basically went to prom, his junior prom the first time, I went with a good friend of mine, and then my senior year prom, I basically went stacked. And then the prom that I had at Mitchell, whatever we called it, I didn't even go at all, mostly because of the pandemic. So, yeah, it's a lot of things. So, you probably could tell where this is going to go, is essentially this episode could potentially be, let's say, kind of sexist nowadays, because basically you would think that we would get the story, since basically the title, She's All Yak, you know that she's going to be, the central focus character is going to be Yona. And I bring this up because we then see Sandbar actually initiate to ask Yona to be his, well, special partner.
Want to be my Pony Pal? We can enter the contest together.
But Yona yak. Yona not pony.
So?
Pony, more pony.
Oh, that's just a poster. Come on, it'll be tons of fun together. Promise.
Okay, Yona go with Sandbar.
Great, I'll get the tickets. See you later!
Yona!
Now, I do want to give credit where credit is due, because I thought that this episode was going to be that Yona was going to try to, like, basically Sandbar was going to pressure Yona to change for him. But I like how he's very, like, chill about it, and that he just wants to take Yona as such. But Yona then starts to have some self-confidence issues because she isn't really not sure how. And then runs into Rarity, where her pressure then begins to skyrocket.
I'm selling for the dance have me completely frazzled. Dress? Yona needs dress for dance? Yona has lots to learn about being Fet Pony Pal.
So, after the theme, she basically stops by Rarity to get some advice on basically, well, wanting to fit in at the Padlock Luck, Amity Ball, whatever you're going to call it. And quite frankly, for the rest of this review, I'm just going to call it the Amity Ball because there's too many damn names in it. So, anyways, Yona basically goes to talk to Rarity to see if she can get some advice from her.
Do you, Yona? Yona not know Yak needs special pony dress for dance. Yona no can wear what Yona always wear? Yona could. I mean, you could. But the Padlock Fet, or whatever Twilight is calling it.
I really like how even Rarity is, like, not even going to bother keeping track of what they're going to call it.
It's all about a tradition. There's a certain way to do everything at the dance.
Because if anything we've learned from Fiddler on the Roof, it's tradition! Tradition! I haven't seen the musical in a long time, so forgive me if I screwed the lyrics up. So anyway, so Rarity then decides that she wants to teach Yona all the traditions that they have for this dance, and try to help Yona be more proper.
One must converse in a sophisticated fashion. Talking with Brussels sprouts in your mouth helps you to learn to articulate. Take a mouthful and repeat after me.
By the way, I do love how this episode gives a lot of new facial animations for Rarity, and I gotta admit, they do give me a couple of chuckles. Plus, I never heard of a method where the one way to help you talk fancy is essentially eat Brussels sprouts in your mouth. Normally, trying to chew with your mouth full would be considered rude and also disgusting.
How kind of you to ask me to tea. May I offer you a glass of punch?
Yeah, see, that's the downside with trying to chew with, Brussels sprouts in your mouth.
Let's move on. We will need to do something about your hairstyle, but first, let's find the right dress. Now, purple taffeta, frosted chiffon, gold brocade, one of my favorites. Yellow light brown, earth tones.
Well, if anything that we've learned from Magic Duel, according to Rarity, you only use browns for accents. Seriously cannot believe that almost 10 years later, I'm still thinking about that episode, and it gives me the one thing that I remember about it the most, outside the cruelness. But let's focus on the episode that I actually like instead of making this another diatribe on the Magic Duel like any other episode. So anyways, it seems that Rarity kind of has her work cut out for her, but she's not willing to give up, as this actually leads to our second song of the season. This stupid thing's trying to load because I don't know what the deal was. So this basically leads to our second song of the season, Fit Right In. And honestly, it might be a bit early, but this is honestly the best song of the season so far, which honestly, given how there's only been like 2 songs, but this song is very catchy. I know that there's been some kind of comparisons with some other musicals. Basically, I don't know the name of the musical because I'm not that well versed in it, but I really do like the imagery that is shown here, as basically Rarity does everything she can to help Yona out, as basically she's doing what she can to help Yona fit right in. And I really do like what this episode goes for with it. It definitely really goes to show that she's not willing to give up, but really willing to help out a friend that she needs. And on top of that, I just find the lyrics to be just a great joy, and it's just all around great to watch. And I really like the imagery that they show in this episode, where we even get to see Yona's pony version, and that's honestly very creative. There's just a lot of things about this song that I really just enjoy all around. Just the imagery, the lyrics, and even Yona and Rarity just singing a duet together. It's just all around fun and enjoyable to do. So eventually when the song ends, Rarity then remembers that they have to teach Yona how to dance, well, old pony style, and thus Rarity enlists Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy to help out Yona with the dancing.
Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy good at dancing? Don't be so surprised. I'm awesome at everything.
Well, to be fair, in Rainbow Dash's defense, if we've seen the Equestria Girls world, we know that Rainbow Dash is actually a great hip-hop dancer. So if her Equestria Girls counterpart can dance, I'm pretty sure our own Rainbow Dash knows how to dance.
Except for Mickey. There are 2 traditional dances that every pony does at the fest. After a few days of practicing with us, you'll know them both. And fit right in! Absolutely. We'll start with a slow dance. Pony cotillion. That's Fluttershy's specialty. Oh, I wouldn't say specialty. It's just fun. Here, Yona. I need your chart.
Now, normally the chart would be a good thing, but looking at all the steps, just basically it is very confusing when you have a chart in front of me just to learn the basic steps. While I do appreciate the charts because of being more of a visual learner, I'm the type of person that actually likes to do the steps and walk them through and actually see what you do and not just looking at the ground just to see what they need to do. And this does initially confuse Yona, even though Fluttershy does go through it step by step.
Whatever color I need. Let's begin. Blue, red, step ahead. Green, black, now step back. Now you try. Blue, red, step. Oh, no. Yona,
of the main six are being supportive and wanting to help Yona because she is trying to learn something new, and it definitely goes to show that they're willing to try to help her out. But of course, Yona, even with all this, still struggles with the dance. And also, I do have to give this episode basically points where basically Angel does the Roger Rabbit running rabbit dance. So then Rainbow Dash basically steps in to basically teach Yona the second dance that they will perform at the Amity Ball.
A little dance called the Pony Prance. The key to this one is speed.
So the Pony Prance is kind of more of like an energetic dance, and it actually kind of seems more Yona's speed, and she gets into it. But the con is that given Yona is a yak, and the yaks have proven to be destructive, her large energy and boost is actually kind of a detriment. So that's definitely one downside. So after the commercial break, Rarity then goes to Sweet Apple Acres for Yona to learn from Pinky and Applejack.
Welcome to Sweet Apple Acres, Yona. Rarity tells us you need some help getting ready for the big dance.
Indeed. And we only have a few more days. Well, you've come to the right place. Because if you ask me what my favorite part of the dance is, I say everything about the dance. But especially this. The Fetlock Lucky Pot Dinner.
It's part of the Pony Them dance tradition. Every pony brings a dish to share. And we swap them without knowing who's whose. Although my lucky pot probably gives me away.
Well, and I think also Pinky's potluck also gives it away too. So it kind of makes you wonder if they're allowed to kind of change containers or even try to make it more anonymous some way other than that.
Anything you want. Could I just, I don't know, maybe? Okay. I already told Yona a little bit about that tradition. She's even bought her own lucky bucket. Yes, buckets are best buckets. Yona thinks make traditional yak freezer soup. Extra fiber.
Well, I guess given if the yaks are able to stomach something like that, then I'm sure that they're going to be fine. But Applejack and Rarity Applejack, Pinky, and Rarity then try to help Yona with making the cupcake, but it doesn't seem like it's proven to be any effective. But they do keep at it as they then try to basically continue with the dance lesson back with Fluttershy. I really like this whole montage. Is basically they're still keeping at it to work with Yona, and they're basically even trying to basically keep her to be more civilized than the Yona that we do come to go and love. They even tried to put some dresses on her, and I think this probably leads to one problem that I'm not really particular of in regards of the dancing. Now, even though they're able to get Yona to be more refined, there's one crucial thing that they forgot to mention. But let's just hold off on it only because we then get to the actual part where they actually succeed as Yona becomes actually more civilized and become more manner-like.
Ask Yona to tea. Black, green, red, and blue. Red, black, gold, 1 and 2. Red, blue, red, 1, 4. Green, black, blue, red, 3 and 4. Look! She's dancing!
How about that? And she's good.
Yona, if someone at the park tells you they're thirsty, you say, "Say, Yona, may I offer you a cup of punch?" She's got it! She really got it!
Yona, you did it!
You did great! And a silver trophy. You need a hit of the ball! You master finish.
Yeah, so then we cut to later that night because we're going to get to that one problem I mentioned where basically later that night we see Spike as the DJ, and I really do like the special costume that they made for him, and honestly it's kind of hilarious. So basically the ball is hit as we see the rest of the young six basically there as well, but not really as invested.
I'm just glad I'm here with you guys. At least I'm not the only non-pony in the crowd.
You're not still worried about that, are you? Like Headmare Twilight said, this is a dance for every creature. There's no pony pressure.
So is pony pressure kind of the same as peer pressure? Well, anyways, so basically then, and as the rest of the young six joke around, Yona basically shows up to basically shock them with her refinements.
Ask me to the soiree, Sandbar. Well,
to what I said at the beginning of the episode, where at first it was going to be kind of sexist with how Sandbar was going to pressure Yona to be different, but given who Sandbar is, he's not really that type of man or guy to be that manner. And like he said, Yona didn't need to basically doll up the way he is. He just wanted Yona to be herself the way that she is and not pressure her to be something that she's not. So I do want to give this episode credit for not going in the route that I thought it was, especially given with an example like Grease. And as much as how great the musical and the movie is, let's be real here. Grease nowadays can be interpreted as kind of sexist. Because, like, let's be real about that. So, anyways, so basically Yona continues to basically be more refined, and Sandbar basically goes along with it, but still being stunned about the whole thing and is not really sure how to take it.
Welcome, every creature, to our school's first annual Amity Ball! For those of you who've never attended a Fetlock Fest, we can't wait to show you some of our fun traditions on this special night.
I really like how all the ponies are cheering and all the non-ponies are just basically just like not caring at all. I think mostly Smoller and Gallus, unless they're like not caring. Ocellus is kind of like indifferent, and Silverstream is just kind of snacking on chips.
So, Spike?
Scales and tails?
Right. Scales and tails. Let's get this party started!
Oh yeah, party ponies! It's time to raise the roof and stomp your hoof for the traditional first dance of the night, the Pony Cotillion!
I'll give you this, Spike. At least you're not doing that stupid Watch Me song from for 7 years ago. Because believe me, having to listen to Silento's punchable voice for the longest time, and now I barely hear that song anymore, is a freaking godsend. But then this leads kind of a...
Indeed! Great claps and step back, shall we?
Yeah, but then this kind of leads to a problem.
Wow! How did you learn this?
I had good teachers.
Yeah, let's just get into the problem that I keep hinting at, is the fact that the main six forgot not to teach Yona to dance while wearing a dress. And I think that's kind of a big downside, because given how big and extravagant dresses are, and you want to try to dance with somebody, you kind of need basically the length you need to kind of move your feet around without tripping over the fabric. What basically kind of ends up happening as Yona ends up tripping over herself. And I think this is basically kind of something that the main six should have taught Yona to basically dance with the dress on. She basically then tries to basically give Sandbar or T or Punch or whatever it is. I know it's Punch, but I'm kind of making... Ugh. So basically, Sandbar basically tries to get Yona back into it, but she ends up crashing into everything because, again, the main six forgot to teach Yona how to dance with the dress on, and Yona ends up running away because she basically is concerned that by destroying the Amity Ball, she ended up making an ass out of herself. So she ends up running away to basically the new clubhouse from the Tree of Harmony to basically sulk, as Sandbar ends up following her.
Sad Yona sings sad song, sad Yona.
And I guess that also means that the Yaks do feel sad, they have a sad song to talk about it. So Sandbar basically shows up to basically try to talk to Yona about what went down at the Amity Ball.
Help Sandbar find Yona.
I know you pretty well by now. I figured you'd come here. Besides, it's where I'd go if something like that happened to me.
Sandbar means something awful and embarrassing. So awful Yona cannot come down from treehouse ever. Will Sandbar bring Yona food and water?
You know, it really wasn't that bad. I don't think any creature hardly even noticed. Well, maybe one or two did, if they happened to be at Canterlot for the day. But anyway, it's all over now, so will you come back to the dance with me?
Yona disappoints Sandbar. Yona not make very good pony.
Why would you think you disappointed me? And who said anything about having to be a good pony?
Yona just wants to do all the right pony things and fit in a dance.
Yeah, and I really like this moment because this entire episode we see Yona knowing how different she is. She just wants to fit in and be more involved with the pony culture. And like I said, it's not like that Sandbar was pressuring her to do anything different. She had to face her own, she's basically had to feel with her own insecurities, and she felt like that she had to fit right in, but wanted to be more involved with the culture just so she could be more like her friends, and more specifically Sandbar, and she just felt like that she ruined everything because she's still dealing with her own self-confidence.
Yona wins worst pony ever.
That's not true.
Really? Sandbar, name two ponies worse than Yona.
Cozy Glow and Sombra.
I really like how he's able to get those answers. But Sandbar is able to calm Yona down and basically give some words of encouragement about her.
No matter if you're a great pony or a horrible pony, you're the best Yona I know. That's why I asked you to the dance.
Really?
And considering that the two of them are blushing, I think who knows where the shipping meter for these two are probably going at this point. I feel like that after this moment, it probably is going to be reaching up to Mars by this point.
The yak.
So Sandbar is able to convince Yona to go back, and she basically comes back as herself, as the main six basically apologize for what happened, or rather they should be apologizing for not teaching her how to dance with a dress on.
They were so worried when you disappeared like that. Yona fine, but Yona sorry. Not meant to make such a mess and ruin the pony dance.
It's not your fault, Sugar Cube.
It's the opposite. If anything, we should be apologizing. I thought we were just teaching you how to have fun at the dance. We never meant to try to turn you into something you're not. It's okay. Friend helped Yona feel better. And that's why we're giving you this.
No way! The Pony Pal Prize!
From now on, it's the annual Amity Ball Award for Friendship.
No poniness required.
We all decided that you and Yona totally earned this.
So basically they just shut tradition out of the window and just basically have to make up the rules as they go. So basically Yona and Sandbar get the reward, and basically they then dance basically yak style. And that was She's All Yak, and I really got nothing to say. I really like this episode a lot. I think what I like about this episode is just how simple and straightforward it is. I do like how it deviated from the fact it was going to be, oh, the girl has to basically change her looks for the guy, but no, it wasn't anything like that, and I really like how Yona basically feels like that she has to change his ways to basically just fit right in because she's trying to deal with her own insecurities. And I really like how supportive the main six are, and what I really like is how supportive Yona is, or rather how Sandbar is to Yona. But you get kind of my point. And I really do like Yona as well, as she basically struggles, but she wants to fit right in to be a part of the pony culture, but she has all these doubts and self-confidence in herself, and that she lacks that. But when Sandbar basically opens up and basically say, listen, you didn't need to change for me, and that I like you just the way you are, it goes to show how supportive he is and basically wants her to be her best self. And I think what I like what this episode does is that basically you don't need to change for anybody, and if you just focus on your self-confidence and just come in as you, there's a good chance people are going to like you for that. Honestly, there weren't really that too many negatives I can really think of. I guess really the one critique that I would give is that the main six did kind of have the hindsight of not teaching Yona how to basically dance with the dress on. I think that's kind of the only hindsight I would give this episode, really. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot to complain about this one. I mean, it's a simple, straightforward episode. It's not anything shocking, poetic, complex, or deep. It's just a simple, straightforward story with a really good song that I like. There's not really much to it, which could be a drawback, but sometimes you just need a simple, straightforward episode to balance out the craziness of the other episodes that have showed up so far. So yeah, as a whole, I think She's All Yak is an A episode in my book. like I said, it's simple and straightforward, and with that one hindsight, and it could be a negative of how simple it could be, there's not much meat to it, but I still enjoy the episode overall. So like I said, final ranking of She's All Yak is an A. Alright, so next time, believe it or not, we're actually going to get back into the main overarching story of the season with our next episode, Frenemies. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.